What if you could help others to find the power to heal themselves? Physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
When I started teaching my classes, it was in 2002, and I was just doing the past life regressions and contacting the subconscious part. But then as the time went on and we found how powerful this was and what we could do with it, a lot of the students began saying, you know, advanced past life regression doesn't really tell what it's all about. This is so much more than that. We think you should change the name. So it was a few years ago we decided to change the name to Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And this is the healing technique that we've now been teaching it, well, since 2002, that's 12 years.
What if you could time travel with them? Visit mythical places or angelic realms, other worlds, other galaxies. Help others to speak to their higher selves. You can. Dolores has taught thousands of people from across the world how to use QHHT, and now you can learn her method by going directly to dolorescannon.com. And don't forget to mention the discount code MORETALKS. Have you ever wondered, can you communicate directly with spirit guides, teachers, or non-physical consciousness, or even our higher selves? What would they tell us? My name is Kevin Moore, and since 2015, I started to practice a form of communication which is termed channeling. I have been interviewing experts on my talk show to find out, does life continue after we die? And can we communicate with those that have crossed over? With each expert I spoke to, they all had different ideas. Is there knowledge from the past which could be shared with the present moment? So I thought, why not just speak to the non-physical world directly through channelers around the world? And that's what I set out to do. They Call Us Channelers will take the viewers on a journey into the phenomena known as channeling. And my main goal with this docuseries is to bring a new understanding and awareness to channeling by looking within ourselves and asking, is it truly possible that we can all use this innate ability?
From Rye, New York, not far from Manhattan, and I'm an intuitive reader and I'm an energy healer. And what does that mean? Well, I work with clients and I crack open the beautiful glowing light that's in their heart and I guide them to their destiny. And I do sessions, and I do that basically, I'm hearing their voice or I'm touching their hand and I'm hearing their name. And then all of this information flows into me about them. Signs and symbols and messages, and anyone that is actually maybe past that's around them, angelic beings. And I usually am helping professionals, anything from a stay-at-home mom to a teacher, and we together help solve whatever issue that they have.
Beautiful. Yeah, because I think you were just saying off air there as well that you're about 45 minutes from downtown Manhattan. And I think a lot of your clients up to when the pandemic happened were actually coming in to see you in person, weren't they?
So I worked out of an office right here in Rye prior to the pandemic, prior to COVID. And so everyone came in and I worked with other holistic practitioners. And then it turned into, which was pretty much an easy changeover, into working via video chat or on the phone. And then sometimes we'd find a location that was in nature and I'd meet them there. As long as I have like a sturdy tree by me or a building, then I can read someone. It's when I have nothing around me, it's harder. However, I can read someone across a room or tell someone who I haven't touched, with my hand, about their personality and I guess whatever issues they have.
Right. Well, I've seen you do that as well because I've seen some of your the times when you sort of there'll be someone on a Skype video call, and you're just able to sort of just flow with what comes through you, and then the client's sort of able then to sort of you know agree, and then not agree, but they can feel that what you're saying is correct, and then obviously you're able to go into the issues then that they have, or what's really pressing them at that time, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, for me, it's really all about helping and healing, and that's it. So I'm given the information. It's not like I demand it. It just flows. And I've pretty much always been able to connect to people because I'm empathic as well. And I became aware of this as a child because I would be around some other children and I kind of knew exactly what they wanted. And so I gave them whatever they wanted from my personality because I knew it's almost like I have radar. It's like, don't go over here, but this is a safe place. And I didn't understand really what was going on. I did have insight since I was very small because I had a near-death experience, and I think I went to another realm, and I went and I saw a lot of light, and so I always had a very strong connection to divine energies.
Interesting. So let's just have a look at that near-death experience as well. How old were you when that near-death experience occurred?
I was between 2 and 2.5.
Right, and what do you remember of that? I mean, that's a young age to have a near-death experience.
I remember grasping for air and uh, I think being very, very much in fear that I wasn't going to live. And I definitely connected to a source, a higher being. I say it's God who shared with me, you'll be okay, you'll be okay. And that same kind of voice has come through to me other times in my life, because I had another time that when I was 6 years old that I almost died as well. Or I guess near death, where you're kind of crossing over.
Right, what happened there?
I was swimming, and so I was on the last breath. And I think at that point, when it was the second go around, I thought, I'm not supposed to be here anymore because this is the second time. So I had this whole very conscious thought pattern that made me wonder about my mortality. And then I just kind of thought, I'm not going to make it past 18. But then now I know I'm planning on living to 104. So I have a lot to do.
You do. And do you think that when you look back on the near-death experience, even at 6 years old, um, and did you ever discuss that with anyone around that time, of
When
when
I
the
was
event happened?
6, when I
Yeah,
was little baby, no.
no, but
When I
six
was a
years
little
old.
baby, no. The 6 years old, my family was aware of it, but it was never really discussed. So a lot of time I've kept trauma in my being. I've learned to embrace it, and then it's more like it's part of me. But at that time, I don't think no one ever really talked about it again. It just happened.
So when you do connect with that same energy that you had from those near-death experiences, you recognize that feeling. So when you, with all the work that you do, it's all going to, it's basically all coming from the same source, isn't it? Whether you're, you know, using your intuitive side as an empath, whether you're channeling in a sense, bring that greater part of yourself through, however it's working, it's all from that recognizable energy, God, if you want to call it that.
I would say so. It's from a spiritual realm, it's from a higher power. And as time has gone on, more recently, I'm experiencing more channeling, and I'm experiencing more messages and information. And I guess everything that I do is I've connected, my third eye opened, and then I can see. So I can see into another realm right here. I can bring light into this space and see what's in another realm in this actual reality that we have.
So, and we're going to get into all that as well. So obviously, you've always had this ability to tune in, but when did you start to sort of develop it more in the sense of like, you know what, I can do this, and I think I can give other people readings. Sort of where did that sort of breakthrough happen?
That happened back when I was doing reality show pitches, and the talent manager said, "Why don't you?" We had one person that was a psychic. Why don't you have a whole team of people? And so I said, when we needed someone to kind of take the cast in a certain direction, I said, "Well, I'll be the empath. I'll be that." And so I just felt very comfortable being around these energies and these people, and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is where I belong." It was like, this is the moment. I figured it out. And maybe in some part of me I got myself to that moment. So 2013 is when it began, and then I had an awakening, and then I started seeing light when I closed my eyes at night. And then that was the first time that I saw the inside of this tower, and it reached up to the heavens, and I saw all these shelves of angels. And it was very visual. Like, I can look at it right now, I can remember it. That's how strong it was. And so I started to go in that direction, and some of it I said, I want, and then it was more like, don't do that, just be patient, and it's all going to come through when it's supposed to. And sometimes our lives take us into it, when we spend more time in nature, we spend time doing compassionate acts, it's bringing it on. And the more I had love in my heart, the more that it came through.
Interesting. So I'm guessing, like prior to 2013, your life was very different.
Very different. It was very, very different. And I did painting, and I did creative endeavors. And I always loved art, but I didn't own it. I didn't accept it. I stifled a lot of it, and I really didn't know what to do with it. I wasn't guided. I didn't know. And, I think all of us have these abilities. It's just about tapping into it, about tuning into it.
Yes, and that's a great title of a documentary actually based on channeling, which is called Tuning In. I recommend it for anyone that's not watched it. But yeah, that's right. You're just tuning into it. It's a sort of we've all got this natural gift, haven't we? We're all a soul having a human experience. We're all spirit in a sense, right? But some of us are more, I guess, awakened to it, or it's our truth more, or we remember aspects of it, but we can't quite put it into words, maybe.
Yes, it's about accepting ourselves. So it's about, like I say, when we have stillness, so when we're quiet, and we go into a room and we have quiet, and we turn off our electronics, and we just tune in to the beyond the walls of the room. We listen beyond as far as we can. So we start to bring up our senses to another level, and we start to realize that there's more up here. We can expand our consciousness, and we can, like, more or less become, I guess, the best version of ourselves through this. And we can realize that there's more out there than just stuff. And I think more love in our hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine the journey that you've been on since you sort of opened up your heart, in a sense, to this work, right? Because you must have done all sorts of readings for people in various states of degrees of need and coming, all sorts of issues that they may have as well. And you've gone from realizing there's a lot more even to the work as you opened up to it as well, I guess, from the light to the dark, right?
Yes. It's true because I did events where I would do 50 people in an evening. So you only get 5 minutes or a few minutes with each person. So you have to do it really fast. And I don't work that fast, but I had to find a way. And it's about getting into how, everyone has a different way of tuning into someone. So for me, I say love a lot because I'm actually tuning into people's hearts. That's the first thing that I see. And that's my access into everything that's going on with their mind, body, spirit. And usually, for some reason, immediately I am trusted by strangers. And so they tell me confidential information. They just know. And it's because I have that empathic side to me. So it's like I can feel when they're going through pain, they know I'm there, like holding them while they're in the pain. And that's part of my gift. I'm very grateful for that because that's what I want to do. I just want to help people through whatever they are going through, you know?
Yeah, isn't that incredible that people open up so much in that space as well? And there's a lot of trust with your work. And I'm guessing as well, because I interview a lot of different people, and some of them have, always used their gift. Some of them have then come into their gift at a later part of their life, and there's no, every path is the right path for people, right? But I guess this was a sort of intense learning course, because you must have touched the dark side a lot as well, because there's a lot of people that have issues with opening themselves to aspects that they shouldn't do, whether they've whatever they've done, right? Maybe they've got an attachment from some previous sort of incarnation, right? Or maybe they've brought something into their life that is what we would term dark, and I'm guessing you would have been sort of pushed into those situations as well to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I first of all, when this did happen in 2013 and it started to happen, I basically said, no, this is too strange. I don't know what this is. So I had to first accept this within me. And then, I guess my comfort with it helps my clients. They feel comfortable in this space with me. And I did for a while. I did house clearings where I go in and clear the space because there was some kind of evil entity. It was demonic, also possessions, and that can come through. Sometimes you can have an object and, you take it from, I guess, a negative source, and it can have an attachment. People can have an attachment, a home can have an attachment. And yes, I definitely walked on the dark side. I had, entities threaten me. I heard their voice. Some scary things happened. Some very scary things happened. And I learned how to handle that. So basically, believe it or not, evil and darkness and negativity do not like light and love. So my strategy is first I wrap light, because I know how to do that. I send light to it and wrap light around it. And then I tell it I'm hugging it with love, and it just disperses. It doesn't like that. None of it likes that. So it seems scary. Sometimes entities come through to us in the scariest form that it can take on to put fear in us, because then it owns us and we're vulnerable. But really it's just confused energy. So as soon as you realize that, it takes away their power.
Yeah, and I guess for some people, unless they've gone through what you've gone through, they're never going to understand it. But you've lived it, and I guess even you were maybe didn't think that some of this stuff, when it comes to that side, was really genuine. But having experienced it yourself, you can only say, well, this has been my truthful experience of it, and that there is something there from that side.
I did not believe in any of it because why? That I didn't, because I was putting myself in situations that were pretty strange and scary and paranormal. I worked with a paranormal team in Brooklyn for a while. And so we did events. And so then that's where it started. And then I went on and it just seemed like synchronicity. I started getting clients and they had paranormal experiences and encounters. And so then now I was in the middle of it, and I did that for a year, and I had enough, because it's just a constant battle, and I didn't really understand it as much as I do now. Now I don't have any fear about it. And so, yeah.
No, that's fascinating because you know, I don't think it's spoken about enough, you know, within the work within this field. And I'm sure there's light within the dark, and I'm sure, look, you know, if you're going to come to a opposite of, you know, to a reality like this, right, where opposites are needed, but of course you're going to have that opposite, right? It's a natural side effect. But you know, it's like you say, we can all cleanse ourselves of that, and you know, but I just wanted to touch on that because I know that, you know, that's a real part of what you've done as your journey and your progression of what the work that you're doing. I think it just shows what, you know, where you're up to with what you're able to do as well, so that you're coming from a clean sort of, you know, positive side. And actually I should say people can see that just from your YouTube channel as well. So just tell us a bit about how people can you know, see you on social media or websites as well. Your website is?
Sure. Yeah, so you can find me maryamyofficial.com. I have a YouTube channel, Mary Amy. I am also on social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And it's really a way to access me. You can send messages to me, or, you know, I don't know, I have some books as well that I've written.
Yes, you do. And we're going to actually, everything you've mentioned there, we'll link in the description below in the show more. And I just actually want to touch upon your books as well, because you've got, let's first of all just talk about the Dream Journal. This was published in 2020. So just tell the audience a bit about that as well.
So it's my dream journal, a personal diary of messages, signs, and symbols to guide me. And basically, it encompasses, you can put 100 journals, you know, entries in it, and you put your description, the date, the time, and basically what were your emotions that you had during your dream. So this is sleeping dreams. Our sleeping dreams are very important because they are guiding us to our destiny. It's our conscious sharing information. And you think, oh, it's random. It's not random. And if you pay attention to your dreams, you might have a recurring theme and you say, oh, it's the same dream. However, it's not. If you pay attention, you will see it's a continuation, like an episodic show, giving you the next part of what you should be paying attention to. So sometimes our dreams are helping us to release something that's bothering us, or giving us a warning, or pointing out a direction that we should go into, whether it's in our personal relationships or our careers, or just something that will fulfill us. And so I felt that it was important to make a dream journal, to write a dream journal. I also talk about dream work, which is like before you go to sleep at night. You know, if something you want to change in your life or in your dream, you say it before you go to sleep. Like, tonight, if I dream about being chased, I will not run any longer, or something. You know, you can pose yourself some kind of statement or question. Maybe you want someone to visit you in a dream. You can say, please visit me tonight. There's a lot that we can do in our sleeping dreams, and it will be a continuation of your waking life. So when you have your sleeping dreams happen during your waking life, you're really hitting ultimate synchronicity. When you start to dream like the night before, like I have premonition dreams sometimes.
Yeah, I know the dream state, right? Is such a an amazing subject, and it's great that you're doing this. So basically, this is kind of some of your work. Well, it is towards manifestation, towards, as you say, that dream reality, towards many things, I suppose, isn't it? I guess it's what you can use it, the dream journaling, to heal many things that are coming through in the dream state. Yeah.
Yes, you can heal. I mean, it's really about healing and like accepting all of us. And, you know, if you've gone through a trauma or something like that, it might come up in your dreams and you might say, oh, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Okay, stay there. Do not leave the nightmare, because there will be an answer, a solution to whatever's bothering you. And it also might give you more emphasis of what you're supposed to pay attention to while you're awake, like, or a memory that you didn't, you've forgotten about, of something that you should pursue. It's like a clue. It's like it's sharing little clues. It's like secret information, your dreams. So I really believe in writing them down. You don't have to sit there and dwell on it after you've written it down the next day. You can forget about it. But it's interesting because sometimes we have the same characters, the same group of people circulating through our dreams. And that might just be from a past life. That might be something that you're just kind of stuck on, you're blocked. And dreams are so interesting. I'm fascinated by dreams.
Yeah, no, they are. I remember reading a few books on Eka Casey. He did a lot of the dream stuff as well. But it's very
Yes,
interesting what you just said there about not, waking yourself up in a sense, not forcing yourself out of it and see it through. I'll have to give that a
yes,
go. Most
yes.
definitely. Yeah.
Definitely do that.
Now, there was another book as well in 2019, I believe it was Earthly and Gemstones. Just very briefly, that book was about?
Sure. So I wrote this children's book, and I have this love for gemstones. Tumbled stones are from the earth, they have healing properties. And so the character Earthly is a gnome, and he travels around the planet collecting these gemstones. He leaves his home in the great tree with a bag of coins, and throughout his journey, he has experiences, and he no longer has any coins, but he's collecting these gemstones, and they each represent a different virtue: love, peace, nature, spirituality, and vision.
I see. Okay, well, that's been coming up on the screen as well. And that must have been near the pandemic you were writing these books, I'm guessing. Well, yeah, I guess that was 2019, I think the Gemstones wasn't it?
Well, the gemstones was interesting. I started that back 20 years ago. And so I didn't finish it. I didn't get it done. I had the illustrations. And then after all of my holistic work, where I started to realize just about nature was so evident in all my thinking and dreams, and just light. And I wrote it. I just wrote it from my most authentic self. And I mean, it can be for adults. It's a little children's book, but it's really for kids. It's like kind of showing some positive light and just
We,
lessons.
you know what's fantastic about that as well is that you saw it through. After that many years, you still, because some things, they're not when you think they're ready. They're not, are they? There is a timing involved that must have taught you that big time.
You're absolutely correct. I had this very strong uh, interest in these gemstones, and so I wrote this book, and it just didn't. It was just. It didn't really have like a foundation to it. I guess I had the character and I had the gemstones, and I know he was traveling, but I didn't have all the messages. And some of the messages and some of the experiences he has, I had, so I used mine in the book. And yeah, it felt good to get it to actually have this come to fruition.
God, yeah.
And
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah,
No, beautiful. Now there is. Thank you for sharing that. That's very helpful. That story is actually because that's yeah. There'll be other people going through the same thing. I know there will. And then we have the white light prophecies as well.
yeah. So the white light prophecies. So originally, Kevin, I said, okay, I'm a psychic, I'm an intuitive, I'm an empath. And then I said, but you know what? No one's going to know that. So I'm going to change my name. So I gave myself this name, Blue Butterfly. And I went and did all these psychic fairs. And I had clients coming to me. And I thought, well, no one's going to know it's me. But of course, people are going to know it's you. And so I wrote this book, The White Light Prophecies, which is 7 prophecies to your destiny, basically. And I talk about some of the elements of what I've been discussing today, which are spending time in nature. I talk about light. I talk about creating basically a field of white light to protect yourself. Because there's a lot of frequencies coming at us all the time with electronics, and people's energies are coming at us, and we don't know, like, why did I get a headache? Why do I have a stomach ache? And so I came up with this book, the White Light Prophecies, with these 7 prophecies. And I talk about as well dreams, how important they are. I talk about nature. I talk about visualizations, which is one of the things is very evident in my YouTube videos. Is I do these visualizations about bringing light into your being. We can find light out here during a sunrise or a sunset or in nature. Let's have it crack open the beautiful glowing light that's in our heart.
Yeah, because you do talk about, as you say, a lot that's in the White Light Prophecies, and that's interesting that you had you didn't want to, you had this sort of stage name, which is what a lot of people do as well, right? But do you think? Yeah, no, sorry, you were going to say something. Go on.
No, I mean, it was, it wasn't like I set out and said, oh, what name? It just came. I said, Blue Butterfly. I'm going to be Blue Butterfly. And, a butterfly is about a metamorphosis, and you're coming out of the chrysalis and you're transforming. And so I guess that's what I was doing. I was accepting my gifts on some level, but not using my authentic name. And so I went and did that. And I guess I did that for 3 years. In 2018, I said, oh, what if I use my real name? What will happen? And so I said, I called up one of my siblings and I said, what do you think? And they said, well, everybody knows you're Blue Butterfly now. I said, really? She said, yeah. So I said, all right, I'll use Mary Amy. So and it felt better because I was owning myself. I was owning everything.
Right. That's so, that's such an interesting part of your journey, because I think a lot of people that kind of want to get into this work, yes, they've got the gift, but they don't want to own it, do they? They go through exactly what you went through there, because I think there was a part of you that was fighting this for a long time, right? And would you admit to that in even some of the different kind of works, the jobs that you were trying to do as well? You wanted people to see it, right? But then there was the true essence was trying to come through, your trueness, what you're doing now. This is really what wanted to come forward, and what that fight was like, and how did you get past it?
Well, I think we're very self-critical, and we are stuck on our identities and what that is. And so that's not a very comfortable identity to have. It's rumored to be, I don't know, a little off the wall, and maybe, like, I use the word unconventional. And I guess it took time. It was steps. It wasn't all at once, and there was no other way to do it, because I had people in business situations saying, like, just use your real name. Why aren't you using it? But if I do, everyone's gonna know. And so I just did it, and I held, and I went, I'll be strong, I'll be courageous, I'll be brave, and I'll do it. And I did it. And then it was actually really, really comforting on the other side of it. It was more scary to run from it and have the fear than to actually do it, because I think it's all about accepting ourselves for who we really are and loving ourselves. And I wasn't doing that until that happened. I wasn't really loving myself. And I think we're all a work in progress. And for me, that's what I needed to do. It's not obviously for everyone, but at that stage, I needed to own it, because then more of my gifts came through, because I was kind of blocking some of myself, because, I was blocking just my abilities by doing that.
Right. Absolutely. No, thank you so much for the honesty there and sharing. And I think it takes a brave soul to want to do that. But as you say, on the other side, it's so much rewarding in the sense of, just the acceptance, and it hasn't really cut any clients off. It's probably added more to, your client database, in a sense, because people, know you for you, and, see you as being authentic, and that resonates more as well. It probably makes the readings better as well. Yeah, very interesting. So, yeah, well, you're definitely living your passion, would you say, right now?
I am. I really am. I'm on an adventure, And every minute I'm trying to live in the moment as much as I can, stay in my heart, stay in love. And it's just unfolding before me. And it's very exciting. When you live in the moment and you don't project and you don't kind of set yourself up as this is how it's going to turn out, anything's possible. Anything can happen.
Yeah, because you teach that a lot, and I know you help clients with that aspect of it. It's finding your passion, finding your purpose, in a sense. And what are some of the things that you've learned from your journey in finding your passion or your purpose, which I guess is the same thing?
Well, I've learned that we're all imperfect, and that's probably perfection. And that I I go back to the acceptance that I just have to just allow myself to be myself, and I'll be a happier being. And it's brought a lot of calmness to my heart. I felt a lot of anxiety for a long time, and I don't know, that was the source of, situations that I endured. But also it's about trying to be something I'm not, trying to be someone that I think everyone's going to like. As a child, like I mentioned, I was always trying to be whatever anyone wanted me to be rather than who I was. And so I just realized if someone doesn't like me, they don't like me. So it helped me to just be me. And and I think that that's like a strong message, because when we spend so much time trying to be someone else or conform to whatever anyone else is doing, we're not really trusting ourselves. We're not really taking care of ourselves. I say we're sacred beings of light, and you know we should just allow ourselves, like, how do you know that it's not going to be so much a better world if you're just completely yourself with all your stuff, whatever that is, whatever characteristics you have. Everyone has beautiful characteristics that make them special. So I'm allowing myself to be whoever I am, and not worry about what other people are thinking.
Thank you so much for sharing that message. That is just so important. It's so important, and it doesn't matter when you get there. Neither there is no, medal on the other side, except for, well, I suppose that it feels great. It feels almost like a medal when you've got there. But I mean, we're all on our own journey in a sense, and that we can't compare ourselves. Is what I'm trying to say to others. Neither on that journey. Now, obviously, people who have known you and still know you for as being a spiritual coach, and I guess when you do the sessions, it is a bit like having a spiritual coach there in a sense, isn't it?
I guess so. It's so funny because I don't even think of it, because when I say here's spiritual coach, I think that's kind of hokey. But I guess because it sounds so like la di da di da, but really it's like real suggestions to kind of guide someone to whatever they're trying to accomplish. It's that simple. Eh, um, it's not really complicated. It's more like someone comes to me and they say, and I do a reading, and then we discover, like, oh, this moment, this was blocking you. And then the moment you bring attention to something, all of a sudden all the power of it is gone. All of the negative imprints that they had, or traumatic imprints, is gone. And they're looking at it from the perspective as an adult, because a lot of times the situations are happening with people that they're blocked is during their childhood. And when you're a child, everything just seems so overwhelming and huge and loud, and you're in a place of childlike, you're just like very vulnerable and very pure, and so everything can be a little bit more scary. So when you're an adult and you look at that memory, a lot of times people forget that memory. I say, well, wait, when was the first moment that happened, or you felt that way? They went, oh. And then it's that simple. It's not. So I guess the spiritual aspect is, I'm coming from a place, if you want to use the word spiritual, is that it's about your feelings, your emotions, and it's about energies, like divine energies that are flowing around us, and that they come through in nature. If you want to say a higher power, we're all connected. Like, nature, trees, flowers, they all communicate. They will all communicate with you. They're all there for you, because we're all living things. We're all part of one wholeness here. So
Yeah, because I mean, and some of your work as well, under that umbrella as well, is sort of, releasing your past, letting go of, I guess, any old identity that's just not serving you anymore. But we do tend to hang on to our past. I mean, you must have noticed that with your clients. Obviously, I think that's part of the work that you help them to move away from, or yeah, to heal.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we all do, and we don't even realize that we're doing it. And I think it's almost like you shake somebody up a little bit, and they're open to it. They're open to it because a lot of whatever's blocking or whatever from the past has hurt them. It's hurt them so much that they stuffed it or compressed it within inside themselves, and they don't feel comfortable. But when they're in a moment of like, I have to solve this, I have to solve this, then they're willing to open up that. And then when they open themselves up, it's like all of this like light comes in and all these memories come in, and it's just like you're taking them back to a place of goodness and hope. And and that will carry them. That will carry them. Like when I see a client, I don't see clients every day or like the same person every day or at once a week. They come to back to me maybe 3 months later because they have a lot of work to do. It's not like um, it's a weekly thing. I don't want to see people after a week. They haven't done anything after a week. And sometimes it's a year. And so I have to open up my book. I have like an old time book that I write in, and I open up and I flip, when did they come back? When were they here last? And it's, and I also do healing. So I heal. So I shift away darkness and negativity and break up the darkness, and then I replace it with light. So I'm an energy healer as well. So I'm a Reiki master. I'm also an ordained minister, and I'm a natural healer.
That's right, because you actually, you're a certified Reiki master, and I think you're a part of, you're a member of the International Association for Reiki Practitioners, the ARP as well. So you've done a lot of work on yourself, and you've been doing your own courses, I suppose. You know what I mean, in all this process as well. How do you think the Reiki sort of helps you in a sense? How do you use that for yourself?
Well, it's funny you say that. So, uh, there's three, I think it's Reiki 1, Reiki 2, and then your master Reiki, and it's these courses. So the first course, you learn about all the positions. So you start with all your chakras. So you're placing your hands on the chakras, and you have healing energy within you. So you have wheels. Your chakras are wheels of energy, and so when they're blocked, then they're not spinning. Your energy isn't flowing properly. So I learned during the first course, you learn all the positions, which starts with your root chakra. And so at night, what I do is before I go to sleep, I do all the positions on myself, and it's very healing. It helps me sleep. That's how it's helped me personally. It's also helped me, Reiki has helped me in so many ways because I've learned more about working with light. And what does that mean exactly? So light is energy. So you can visualize light, you can create light. Like I talk about sometimes creating a ball of light with your hands, and you can feel it. And so Reiki has taught me that because during healing, I'm actually putting light around someone. And then I'm going in and I can see in my third eye where they have darkness, and I scoop it out and then put light in, or something divine. It's been a gift for me to know Reiki.
Yes, that I'm sure it's I'm sure it's very helpful, and I'm sure when you have clients there as well, sometimes the client needs some of that healing energy that you're describing there, and you're able to do that as well. So that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. When it comes to manifesting, because I want to get just into your sort of psychic modalities in a moment, but when it comes to manifesting, what are some of the key principles, do you think, that if someone comes to you, if you've got a client that's really, wanting to change their lives and manifest whatever it is that they're looking to manifest, what's some of your advice you give to people to achieve that?
Well, to really properly manifest, you have to be very clear, which means that you don't have any thing obstructing whatever it is that you want to manifest. So I always say there's 3 steps to manifesting, and it's like, again, I will say how clear you are. And when I say clear, it means that you're not carrying around a lot of stuff. You're not walking around in a lot of low vibrational energy. You're not angry a lot. You're not hateful. You don't have tons of fear. And can we get all through that? Absolutely. But to manifest, you want to be as clear as possible. So you want to be more coming from like more of calmness. And so I say there's 3 steps to manifesting. Would you like me to say the 3 steps? Okay, so I say there's 3 steps to manifesting. So 3 steps. The first step is to write it down on a piece of paper. It's very cathartic to write it, have it come through your arm. Do not share it with anyone because it's your dream, your wish, your desire. If you share it with someone else, their energy might taint it. And you don't know. They might say, oh, that's wonderful, but inside they're thinking something else. So you don't share it with anyone. So you write it down on a piece of paper, you fold it up, you put it in your sock drawer. Second step to manifesting, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to visualize exactly what you want with all your senses. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? You know, all of your senses, and you're going to close your eyes. Now, if during this process you can feel joy in your heart, like you get excited, and I always use the example of a shiny yellow car. So when I think of the shiny yellow car, I get really excited and I have joy in my heart. If you feel joy in your heart, you can manifest it. But if you don't have joy, if you feel like, why am I wanting that? But you know you do, your spirit wants it. You say, oh, why am I wanting that? That means you're blocking yourself. So you have to go to that and say, why? Why can't I have this? Why am I not letting myself have this? Did someone tell me I couldn't have it? Did someone laugh at me? Am I sabotaging myself? So it's just figure out what it is. Third step is you're going to talk about it like you already have it. So whatever it is you want to manifest, you already have it. So I say, my shiny yellow car is in my driveway. It has the top down. It has black leather. I love driving on the highway. I'm talking about it like I have it. So the universe will bring it to you. So that's the 3 steps to manifesting. And you can get there as long as you can reach joy and that you're not sharing it with anyone.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's beautiful. So when people, clients come to you for a reading then, how does that sort of work for you? How does that session work what is the experience, I suppose?
For me?
Well, for the client as well, yeah, for both of you, yeah.
Oh, okay, so basically the experience when you come to me for a session is basically from the beginning, it's confidential. So it's just between me and whoever it is who's coming to me. In other words, it doesn't leave me. And for me, I take it very, very seriously because it's like I have someone in my hands, I'm holding them, and I only want good things for them. So for me, it's very, very important, the experience that they have. And but at the same time, I'm very calm and I'm coming from a centered, balanced place so that I can gather whatever information that they have. And together we actually discover and have solutions. And it's like we're old friends. Now for the other, I can't really speak for everyone, obviously, but I can say that they know from the beginning that I'm sharing my heart. It's always about me giving my heart. And I'm not scared, and so they're not scared. And I know that they trust me because they're sharing very, intimate details and secrets of their life. And usually, as soon as I start sharing about their personality, then they say, "Oh, okay," because they know that I understand them, and that's so much of it. Do I understand them? Am I hearing them? And I am, all of me is hearing them. My whole, it's like without even asking, I'm getting information. And then really it's just like I pinpoint, it's like I ask one or two questions and then I pinpoint where the block is or whatever the issue is. And then we go to it together and then we talk about it. And that's pretty much it. And then I do a healing. And when I do a healing, then I send an email and share exactly what the experience was for me. What did I see? What, who was there? What happened? It's like a mystical experience when you meet me.
Absolutely. And well, it's a whole, you've got all these modalities that you use, which is great. And even going back to the channeling, as you said at the very beginning, still, for you, it's still all channeled in a sense of divine energy. But how would you sort of define channeling if I sort of, asked you to try to define it for you in a sense?
For me, well, this comes at the perfect time. So I think you came into my life at the perfect time because I have been channeling for 2 years every day. And whenever I'm around a source of water, I tend to tune in. And it started with, so I would look in my third eye for a while. I would do this with other people. I would do this with clients. And I said, I'm going to tune into myself and see in my third eye what's around me. So it started like that. And what did I see initially? Well, initially I saw nature, and then I started seeing angels. I guess it was about 3 years ago, I had a dream with an angel, a huge angel, and it was down a long corridor. And I didn't know at first what it was. It was a side profile, and I see this angel, and it had an enormous wing. It was magnificent, and I saw it from the shoulder down. It reached to the ground, and at first I said, "Is this like what?" And then it blinked. So it wanted me to know that it was alive and it was there. And it was interesting. Its eye looked like an eagle eye. And the energy that came off of this angel, which I believe it's Archangel Michael, who's by my side, was like, it was the most powerful energy I've ever felt. And it was very masculine, but then there was a touch of like feminine. It's hard to describe. And it just felt like almost to the point of like, is this scary? And that was the first indication. And then in the last 2 months, I've had more angel dreams, but we'll get back to channeling. So 2 years ago, it started where I tune in because I said, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I on the right path? I need help here. Like, help. Because you question, like, what's going on here? I mean, the world seemed to have gone like, oh. And so I said, okay, what's going on here now? Like, am I going to be okay? And so I would tune in, and I started looking in my third eye. And like I said, the very first time when light came into me, I saw this tower, and there was these angels on all these shelves, and it was just so ornate and so descriptive, and it looked like gold. I mean, it was just beautiful. Well, starting 2 years ago, I started to see these angels in my third eye. I close my eyes and I see these angels. And at first they would gesture me. They were in a circle dancing. And then they eventually, every day, there was like a new message that I would receive. I would tune in, and it was like they were giving me indications or directions or validating. It was like I was asking them, is this okay? Should I do that? Should I do this? And then I was getting information about my life, and then it started to come through about what's going on in the rest of the world. So it was like how I describe an episodic dream. How these continuation dreams. So every day it would get a little bit more advanced. So now I have to tell you, I tuned in this morning. No, it was yesterday. Today I had a continuation. So yesterday I had this very advanced angelic dream. And so I saw these cliffs, and there was these archangels, and their wings were moving, and they were traveling really fast, there wasn't even any time for them to fly from one cliff to another, and then below them was water. And I've seen this same exact vision, or I've channeled into this realm now, second day today. And then in the distance, what's interesting is it's like a constant sun is there. And I always talk about the sunrise or a sunset, but the sunrise, so it's always there. But all the colors are very vibrant, and their energy is very strong, and then they're all moving around. And what do I take that as? Well, I kind of tried to take my vision up as far as I could, because I said, I want to know what this is. And they pointed to me to look over beyond that. And then I saw a lot of evil and darkness. So basically what I'm gathering from this is that these archangels are warriors of God, because angels are messengers, they are guides for us, and they are warriors. And this is in the spiritual realm. And they have taken over, and evil and darkness is leaving, and they are ahead of what, if you want to say God, a higher power, God is bringing in, because they're ahead of him. These angels are ahead of him. Now, let me remind you that angels are immortal. They're beings of light. They're benevolent. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. There's 9 ranks of angels. It's said that we have 2 guardian angels with us from birth. Now, I always say that you can ask for angels to come into your life. You can invite divine intervention. If you're looking to be awakened, you can ask angels to be present. You might experience angels. Like you feel like a brush across your face, like a tingling on the top of your head. You might feel their presence. Maybe you have experienced an angel saving you from danger or tragedy, and that's called divine intervention.
So what do you think their message of the times that we live in now, in a sense? I mean, because I'm guessing you felt something. You felt, there was a great comfort in the change that you were going through at the time. Of course, the whole world's been going through. But now, with what's going on now, how do you feel about the times that we live in a sense, and what their message would be for that?
I would say that, so it's been a spiritual war of good versus evil, and good has won in the spiritual realm. It just hasn't manifested physically yet. And the message that I receive from, I believe, like I look and I see Archangel Michael right here, and I'm guessing that it's Archangel Michael, because I think that was the original angel that I had in my first dream. I believe that these angels are sharing with me that we are in a place of safety, that we really it's about, being positive and creating the world that you want to live in, the reality. And I always say that's through manifesting, it's through thoughts. So every single thought that you have matters. I say, when you wake up in the morning, what are the thoughts that are coming out of your head? If you can see them in a sentence in front of you, are they going to take you someplace good? Or are they going to take you down into a ditch? And these angels are sharing with me that we are in a place of safety, and evil is gone. It's been shifted away, sent away. And I see that this location that I'm brought to is just this most unbelievable scene of nature. It's like nothing you could imagine. I have to tell you, it takes my breath away when this happens, because it is this mystical experience that touches my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you would say as well, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I feel that you're very much a conscious channeler. So in a sense that, for all your work, you're very conscious. I mean, obviously that there's the, trance channelers or the trance state, but you're here when you're giving those messages, even though that message is kind of flowing through you when you're giving it to the client.
Absolutely. It is flowing. And, that's why it takes a lot of concentration, and it takes a lot of intention. So I can hold my focus. I have really strong focus. And that's like what happens to me with clients, Kevin, is that I literally memorize I memorize their personality. I memorize all of their energies. So when I'm doing the healing, it's coming through. It's very strange. It's like, I can't describe it. It's just like all my senses understand them. And that might just be what happens when I channel as well. So it's like I'm getting everything. I'm getting all my senses are kind of on fire, and I'm used to it now. It's like I have balance and harmony, and I have to do the work because I know this is my mission. This is my purpose.
Well, that's right. You wouldn't be doing this interview otherwise, and everything that's led you to, what you're doing now as well. And hats off to you. You've built your platform, and you're doing your content on YouTube. You're getting clients through just even for what you've done. So and that's an achievement because you put yourself out there. So that will inspire others who watch this that are going through something similar as well, and many others that need your help as well. Just watching this interview. So if there was any sort of message, I mean, I know I don't want to put you on the spot in a sense, but I know that you can do this, right? But if there's, I mean, if you wanted to use your energy to give me a small reading, or what, just to demonstrate to people, or however you want to do it, right? But just to show people, because I know I've seen what you can do, right? But others maybe have not. So yeah.
So can we do it my way?
Absolutely.
Okay. So hi, my name is Mary, and your name is
Kevin.
Kevin, if it's okay with you, I'd like to connect to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I immediately see a lot of boxes. And they were brown boxes, like it's almost like stacked up boxes. Then I went to, is this puzzles? But I think it's a lot of boxes going on. It might be compartmentalizing. So how I work, Kevin, is I will relay a story. Now I'm starting to see, so I see some farm animals. I see, I want to say a cow. I see, let's see, farm animals. Okay. I see a bird taking off in flight. Let's see. I see that you are somebody that needs this, if you need solutions to whatever the problem is as you move forward. You need to have an answer as you go. You can't wait. You need to know that. It's almost like you stop yourself. I see though that you do have like a very winding journey. And I see that, so you are somebody that actually you do find, even though you're doing the stop, go, you do find like the happiness and light. You find your own happiness. Maybe no one else sees it, but in fact, you kind of do a little chuckle sometimes now and then, and nobody else knows why you're laughing because there's something that's a little entertaining just maybe to you. And you are someone who you're great in groups. However, you need your time just for you, because it's like you have to do a lot of reflection, I'm not saying you're necessarily an overthinker, but you do think things through. You have an instant reaction if something works for you. You don't need a long time to decide. You will figure it out pretty quickly. Because you know what you like. You know at this point that certain things will work for you. And then you also are someone who does not readdress something. So if you already learned that, you were like, you're not going to do that again. You're not going to go back into that. You're not someone who likes to create drama in their life. In fact, you're good with none of that. I'm seeing even more peace. I'm seeing like very peaceful, like a dove. I see someone who is very, it takes a lot out of you to be outgoing, to be out here, but that is something that you need to do. You do have that place inside of you that you can do that, because the wheels are always turning. You are always, figuring things out. You are a creative soul. I think that you have close relationships as much as you want. You probably have fewer very close relationships than lots of little ones. But people can think they know you, and I don't know if they really know you. It takes a lot for you to really open up to someone on a personal level. And then if you do, it's almost like you got past that. So for you, that's something. So they're in. I think you're a forgiving person. I don't think you hold grudges. You can be very hurt. You have a very sweet heart. You're a kind soul, kind soul. I don't know. Do you have any questions for me?
Very, very interesting what you said there, actually. You know, the only person that I found difficult sometimes to forgive, not forgive, maybe that's the wrong word. I don't know if it's just my past relationship. That was difficult. Going through what I went through with her, and you know, just knowing how much someone hates me, right? And it's like there can never be any bridge to build or any forgiveness. You know, there can never be a bridge built there ever, and just to, I suppose, that whole craziness of being so close with someone, and what we went through, and my closure was me leaving. That was it. There will never be any more than that. You know, and I think that was hard. But I guess everything leads you to where you need to be, and realizing that your soul's guiding you as well.
Yes. Okay. Let me be specific. When I say forgiving, you can send out into the universe, because everything we say has a vibration and they will feel it. And you can say, you know, I forgive you. It doesn't mean you have to entertain a relationship again, but you're freeing yourself from it. So when we say, oh, I forgive so-and-so, or I accept, you know, if they're asking me for me, you know, to forgive them, you can put that out there, and you don't have to say it directly to them. And maybe you can, that's my suggestion, is to let go of that, because it's only hurting you. It's not hurting them. And, you know, after you do that, if you really authentically comes from your heart, and if you're ready, if you ever want to, then there usually is some kind of validation that comes. And maybe it's someone walks up to you and asks you about that person, or maybe it's not really necessarily that person is going to contact you. I'm not saying that, but there'll be some kind of little vibration, like some little sign that they got the message, and you'll be the only one who knows. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you can feel me, can't you? I'm like, shit. I don't know whether I'm ready to admit that I'm not ready. You knew that anyway.
Yeah, I'm planting a seed.
I know you are. I really wanted to say to you. I really wanted to say to you there, right? Oh God, I just don't know if I can do. And there's a part of me that's like,
do it. You don't. I'm just making a suggestion.
I
know.
You know why? I really appreciate that.
Everything takes time.
It does.
My time is different than your time, is different than their time. And you know what? Sometimes we're not ready. And then it doesn't matter. It's okay. Whatever you choose, I'm supportive of whatever you choose.
I think it's funny that you just knew that I wasn't going to do that anyway, right? Right. So no, that there's no hiding from you, is there? All right, that's cool. But thank you. I was processing what you were saying there, and the energy that you were getting, bringing that in from. So don't think I wasn't. Without diverting away from that, right? But kind of. While you've got this connection, what is it? You know. If I was to ask Mary, why are we here? What is the reason for all this? Just for the wider audience, kind of question, as you're connected.
I believe we're here to have an amazing, beautiful adventure, and we are here because our spirits brought us here. And if we connect to our spirit, we can find exactly what we want to do with our lives, whatever it is that will fulfill us and make us happy. So I believe we're here to bring life on the earth, New Earth Gaia, to have happiness and love and positivity. That's why I think we're here.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. And if there was a wider message to the audience, what do you think that could be right now that could be helpful to people?
I believe that if we start by accepting ourselves and loving ourselves, and we just accept others as is, and we decide that we're just going to kind of have an olive branch and we're going to accept others and have unity, we're together, and not divide, because really just divide is just it's a lot of drama and distraction. When we are dividing and we are just having this whole back and forth, your opinion, this person's opinion, it's just divide. So if we have unity and we are in a place of just love, we will have a longer life. We will have better things happen to us. Good luck will happen to us. And it's not like we can see everything that's beyond our vision. We can't see. So we have to have trust. So I would say my message is to find the peace in your own heart. It all starts here. You can't control what's going on out here. Doesn't matter what's going on here. You can only, thoughts, words, and actions must line up, and we can only control ourselves. So I would say is to find love and peace and find out what's fulfilling you, makes you happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just thank you very much for that very quick reading that you gave there, and I will validate that everything that you were saying there is correct. That's why I was kind of laughing in the background. I was like, oh yeah, she got that right. Yep, yeah, yeah. Okay. So yes, so thank you for that as well. And if people wanted to, I guess there's nothing much that you won't discuss with people for whatever they're suffering from, whatever it is that they're calling you, they want to connect with you about, because even if it's just a relationship issues, you're able to help them and guide them through that, whatever it may be.
I believe so. It's really relationship issues, like attracts like. So whatever vibration that you're giving off, you're going to attract someone, male or female, with that same vibration. So if you're exuding like, so everything's terrible, and you want to attract like this very lovely, positive person, you're just not going to. So it's really about understanding yourself. And so, yes, I can guide in relationships. Yes, I can guide in career. Yes, I can guide in your interpersonal issues. If you want to shift something out about yourself or whatever it is, yes.
And I guess sometimes when whatever's going on in our life, sometimes there's deeper reasons for that. Sometimes it's not just, and you'll pick up on that, but sometimes it's what, you were destined to go through this situation. This is something that you could not have avoided had you tried. Do you know what I mean? This is part of your growth, your journey.
Yes, everything is part of our journey. I mean, we all have this journey that we're supposed to go on, and usually it's like when you read one of these novels and the end connects to the beginning, and you see it's like you come full circle, and you were supposed to learn, and it made you who you are. All the bumps and bruises make us who we are. It makes us beautiful, and there's like no right or wrong, and everyone does everything at a different time, in a different pace. And, you can't rush this process. You're a work in progress. Like whatever you're going through, you're supposed to go through at that time, and it's supposed to take you maybe somewhere else. Maybe it seems like everything is going wrong, but you're like, oh, I'm supposed to do that, but it doesn't work out. Maybe there'll be an answer at the next stop of where you're supposed to go. Usually it all connects. It's like dot to dot.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Now just remind the audience again that your website is?
My website is maryamyofficial.com.
Okay, and again, we're linking that all in the description below. I just want to say, Mary Amy, just thank you so much for coming on and for sharing your light as well and your journey. It's very appreciative, and I really hope that we can connect again in the not too distant future. But thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a wonderful experience.